Hey guys, Inder this side from 24/7 everything. Hope you all are doing great. We are again back with another video and this time it's on Asus Zenfone Max Pro M1 related to a new custom ROM that is Pixis OS ROM with the version 3.1.1. Basically this particular ROM is Android 10 based and you can even confirm the same on my phone screen as well, like it is showing Android 10. Apart to this, the security patch level is of 5 July 2020. Then the kernel version is 4.4.229 prototype and build date is July 8. And apart to this, the SC Linux status is enforcing. And the last one is the build number. So it is WQ38.2007005.002. So this particular ROM, I won't say this is a bad ROM or a good ROM. It's having a mixed response, and we'll discuss each and everything in the coming sections as well. So let's begin with that. So the very first thing or a vital part in every ROM is that whether it does provide updater or FATA updater provision or so not. So they have provided updater. So if I'll be clicking here, it will show me that no new updates found and so on. But I can't assure you at this moment that this is working absolutely fine or not. But whenever you will be installing this or flashing this, if any new version will come and if you will try here and it will be downloaded, then you can assume that it is working absolutely fine. So after FATA update, now let's move to the for the users who love ZenPart. So developer has added ZenPart section, so you can find all the vital ZenPart setting like headphones, display, Zen motion, vibration, and so on. And afterward, now let's move to the customization part or advanced customization part. So for that, developer has provided us one section with the name as Explore. So even the tagline is Let's Explore the Goodies. So here you will find bunch of sections like status bar, quick setting, notification, buttons, lock screen, gesture, miscellaneous, and so on. In this particular section, we will only be touching the needed parts that are being mostly asked by users. So first we'll move to the status bar. So in status bar, developer has provided traffic indicator, or I would say traffic network indicators and so on. It is not working at my side, but whenever you will be trying, do confirm me in the comment section below so that this will surely be helpful for the other users. Apart to this is a system icon. So system item, this is working absolutely fine. So let me turn off the Wi-Fi and Wi-Fi icon will be removed from here. So as I've turned off, that's why Wi-Fi icon is removed. If I'll turn it on, then it will again be added. So this is really a nice thing. Apart of this, for the battery section, if you want to show battery icon, battery percentage, you can use this particular section and so. And apart of this, there are many other sections like for clock, for LTE, 4G icons and so on. You can play with it afterward. Now after status bar, we'll move to the quick settings. So in quick setting, the very first thing is the brightness slider position. So by default, I like at the bottom. Let me show you on the quick setting. So it is like this. But if I'll change it to top, then it will go above here. So it's your wish, whatsoever you like, you can set it accordingly. But I always prefer bottom. And apart to this, there is nothing major, but you can for the column settings or rows and column, you have to go to quick settings and afterward you have to tap on edit button and afterward just click on these three buttons and you can play with it like column number, column in landscape, quick bar, rows, landscape and so on. So after quick setting, we'll move to the gestures part. So in gesture, again, very minimal things like like the very first thing is the system navigation. So here you can find either 3 button, 2 button gesture navigation, whatsoever you'll select, it will change it accordingly. For the video part, I always prefer 3 button. And a part of this, you can also use the 3 finger gesture. So use this to capture the screenshot. So if you'll turn it on, then by default using 3 finger, you will be able to capture the, I would say, screenshot and so on. So after gesture section, now let's move to the miscellaneous part. So the very first setting that you have to turn it on is, I would say, gaming mode. So if you will not be turning it on, you won't be able to play with the shortcut for the gaming mode, and it will ask you need to turn it on in the setting and so on. So turn it on and afterward play the game. You will surely see some sort of benefit at your side. And apart to this was all for the explore section or advanced settings. You can go into any other like in any of these settings and play with it. During a video, one can only show the vital parts or the needed parts which are being needed by majority of the users. So after explore, now let's move to the security part, and here we will discuss from the fingerprint, face unlock and so on. So firstly, pin, pattern, password swipe, all are working absolutely fine. A part of this, fingerprint is also working fine, face unlock is also working fine. Let me show you a demo of the fingerprint. It is working absolutely fine. Let me do one more time. And in the same sense, face unlock is also working absolutely fine. There is no glitch with it. And apart of this, I'm using firmware version 059, as this was a basic for this particular ROM. Although I think it is based on AOSP, so you can even go beyond that as well, like 058 or whatsoever version was released before 059. But I would recommend at least having 059, and afterward you can play. You can use this particular ROM, and you will surely see good response. After security, now let's move to the display section. So in display section, we'll first go to the lock screen display. The very first thing is that show lockdown option. So by default it is not showing. Let me turn it on and it will be showing us in here like lockdown. And afterward when to show, so basically this is an always on, so by default it is turn off, so it is showing me nothing. Let me turn it on, and now if I'll turn it off, now it will show me that always on display, and this is the clock setting that I have set at my side. So this is like this new notification wake screen. When you receive notification, it sometimes works at my side and it is not working. So all in all, I will say this is buggy. So you can even try whenever you will be flashing it. If you will find, then please comment in the comment section below. So after display section, now let's move to the very important vital part, that is battery consumption and so on. So firstly, we'll discuss about battery charging time. So to fully charge the phone from 0 to 100%, it took nearly about 3 hours and 10 minutes. So I would say this is satisfactory. But as compared to other ROMs, I have seen sometime 2 hours and 50 minutes, 2 hours and 55 minutes. So somewhat like little bit more as compared to other ROMs. And a part of this ideal battery drainage, so I really recommend this particular ROM in terms of battery drainage, that it is having very less ideal battery drainage. So sometime I have seen 1 to 2%, and at most I have seen 2 to 3% battery was draining over a span of 7 to 8 hours. Now again, it depends upon the number of apps that you might have installed at your site. Some apps are really battery hungry and they are keep on running in the background, and that might be consuming battery or drainage battery or draining batteries in the background. So now let's move to the battery consumption from the gaming section, or I would say gamers perspective. So firstly, let me open PUBG Mobile. So again, like if you are familiar with my videos, I usually like do the analysis on the basis of 1 hour of gameplay for the battery consumption by playing 2 to 3 times to see whatsoever is the best time or the worst time. So again, for the PUBG Mobile, in terms of battery consumption, I had played a 1 hour of gameplay. The battery consumption was nearly about 16 to 17% in all the instances. And apart of this, I've already noted, like I've also noted the temperature reading. So before playing the gameplay, the temperatures of my phone was 29 degree, and as soon as I completed a 1 hour of gameplay, the temperature was nearly about 35 degrees. Apart to this, the gameplay was very smooth. There was no lag, there was no glitch in terms of frame rates and so on. It was consistent whatsoever it was showing at my side. And apart to this, now let's move to the Call of Duty. So again, for the battery consumption analysis, I have again played the game of nearly about game hour of 1 hour and 5 minutes and so on for nearly about 2 to 3 times for doing the analysis. And each sometime it was showing me 16 to 17%, but majority of the time it was showing me 15 to 16%. So you can consider 15 to 16%. But here temperature readings were somewhat abrupt. Like before starting the gameplay, the temperature of my phone was nearly about like 30 degree or 31 degree, and as soon as I completed the gameplay, the temperature of my phone was 38 degree. So it was little bit heating, or the temperature was somewhat higher on while playing the Call of Duty. Now apart of this, the gameplay of this particular game was also like absolutely fine. There was no glitch and so on. So this was all from the battery statistics. Now let's move to the connected devices. So in connected devices, I usually analyze two things. One is Bluetooth and another is screencasting. So Bluetooth is working absolutely fine just for the file transfer. So I was unable to use it for the Bluetooth audio devices. So it was always giving me an error on my screen that Bluetooth app is being closing or is crashing and so on. But apart of this, screencasting is working absolutely fine on a very first instance, and I have tested this on like 2 to 3 different laptops, and it is working out of the box without any glitch. So after connected device, now let's move to the network and internet. So from a network and internet's point of view, native video call related provision is still not working, but Wi-Fi calling is working absolutely fine for Jio and Airtel SIM. So there is no glitch with that. Apart to this call recorder, the good news is that call recorder is available and it is working all of the time. You can consider 96 to 97 out of 100 time. So I have seen just one or two time when I have start, like I was in call and I tried to call record and it was showing me that call recording is unable to start. But apart to that, it was working absolutely fine in all my calls. And apart to this, Wi-Fi connectivity, mobile internet, SMS and call all are working fine. There is no glitch with the connectivity in terms of mobile connections, mobile internet data and so on. So after network and internet, now let's move to the quick settings. So as per the developer, all the minor, major, simple, advanced, whatsoever settings he was able to like ship with this particular ROM he has added. So I am only using the needed, which I already like always use, but you can even view there are other bunch of options are also available for USB tethering and so on. So again, it depends on you that whatsoever you want to use. And apart to this, gaming mode is working fine. Dark theme toggle is working absolutely fine. There is no glitch with that. And the good thing is that screen recorder, it is working absolutely fine, be it for internal recording or internal sound or external sound. And external sound can be recorded with respect to the surroundings and via earphone or microphone and so on. And apart of this, there is a glitch with the ambient display. So whenever I have turned it on, whenever I got any notification, I was unable to see any ambient display being displayed on my screen. So not sure why it is not working, but again, whenever you will be doing flashing this ROM, you can confirm me this part as well. So after quick setting, now let's move to the default app ships with this particular ROM. So these are all the apps which are shipped with this particular ROM whenever you will be flashing. I'll show you again when I'll be completing the installation part. So calendar, camera go, this is a stock camera app and so on. So all in all, everything is working fine. Okay, now let's move to the firmware checker. So as I've told you earlier that I'm using firmware version 059 and it is already been shown on my side as well. If you are not aware about this utility, I'll be sharing the URL for the same in the description box below so that you can go over afterward. Now let's move to the play protection certification. So I think from last 2 to 3 months, majority of the ROMs are having this particular problem that play protection certification device is not certified. So I have not done this. I have not certified this purposely so that I can show you. But if you want to show like do this part, then I have already created a video on this. And again, I'll be sharing the link for the same in the description box below so that you can go over afterward. Now let's move to the minor customization part. So for that, I'm going to tap on the home screen and afterward I'll be tapping styles and wallpaper. So sometime this particular section is been added in the display section and under the setting section by some of the ROM developer. So this is a wallpaper section and this is a clock setting. So I am using this one type and let me show you. I've just applied and now it is showing me it's 1209 and so on. And it's really strange. Sometime it will show you the selection and sometime it will not. And apart of this, in a style, developer has provided a lot of by default, but to cut down the time, I'm using my custom part. So let me show you here by tapping it. So you can choose font, icons, accent color, primary color, then choose shape and so on. Let me select this one, then name it and apply it. So now it will be changed to this particular icon shape or icon set, and this will be available throughout the system wide. So after the minor customization part, now let's move to the status of camera to API. So again, in every custom ROM, the level 3 support is available out of the box or by default, so it is already there. Apart to this, status of Widevance certification. So at my side, it is showing me L3 and it has been persisting since the time I have installed Android 10 beta 1 version and I have flashed the firmware in my TWRP mode and afterward I have never able to go back to L1. So if at your side it will be L1, then it will show you L1. And apart to this, this is a stock camera. And this is a Gcam that I usually use. The Gcam link will be provided to you in the description box below, along with when I'll be discussing the installation part. So all in all, Camera Go is really nice. It will be good experience whenever you will be like installing it and clicking pics and so on. So now let's start with the benchmark score. So for that, I've just opened the Geekbench 5. So let me open it here. So on the basis of single core score and multi-core score, here are the readings: 279 as the single core score, 1178 as a multi-core score. And apart to this, on the basis of computation, OpenCL score is showing us 448. And it is really disgusting that from last few weeks, with all the major custom ROM, I'm unable to use the Vulkan API related scores and so on. I'll find why it is being like not able to run for any of the custom ROMs, and even it was not running for the stock ROM as well with the version 429 too. But I will try my level best to see what else I can do. But apart to this, the scores of from the Antutu benchmarks. So the overall score is 143086, and here are the consolidated one on the basis of CPU, GPU, memory management, UX, and so on. Now let's jump into the RAM or memory management. So for that, let's open any random apps from the, I would say first open, so I have opened PUBG Mobile, and it has opened from the same screen where we have left using the same graphic settings and so on. Let me try to open Call of Duty. So it is also opening from the same window, but at most all the apps will be in the main memory up till 10 minutes or hardly 12 minutes. Afterward, OS will flush it. And apart to this, let me open some other apps that I have opened during the video creation. So this always happen with Antutu benchmark, but it will always trigger a restart and but open from the same screen. Let me open benchmark, like Antutu was showing me the same screen where we have left. Apart to this, let's see camera to okay, DRM info and camera to API. So all in all, RAM and memory management is working absolutely fine. There is no glitch with that. So after this, before we jump into the installation part, my overall review score for this particular ROM is 80 out of 100 with respect to all the goods and bads. Like battery drainage is very less, that's why I've given this particular score. But as compared to other things with minor bugs, that's why I've deducted. If those were they like if there were no minor bugs, then I might have scored it 90 out of 100. But for those bugs and with respect to other goods, it is being scored as 80 out of 100. Now let's jump into the installation part. So for that, I've already opened a Chrome browser, and we are going through the dedicated article that I've already created on my official blog. The URL for the same will be provided to you in the description box below so that you can go over afterward. So again, nothing major has been mentioned. Few links that how to download the ROM, need to flash GApps separately. So GApps version, then Magix if you want to root it or if you want to work on the play protection certification related thing, then Google camera link that I have shown you, that I will be sharing with you when we'll be going to the installation part. Apart of this, few prerequisite like backup your data, charge your phone's battery to 80% or more, but 50% or more, but I recommend 80%. Firmware version 059. If you want more videos on firmware, then you can search it on our official YouTube channel. Bootloader should be unlocked, custom recovery should be installed, so we have already provided you the YouTube videos for the same as well. Finally, the installation of Pixis OS 3.1.1 ROM using TWRP custom recovery. Firstly, format data, then wipe cache, Dalvik data system, vendor partition is optional. Then install or flash the Pixis ROM, install or flash the GApps. Finally, reboot your phone. Last but not least, enjoy the beauty of Android 10 with the Pixis OS 3.1.1 ROM on your beloved handset, that is Asus Zenfone Max Pro M1. Apart to this, these are our social handles. You can subscribe us or follow us on any of these. So now let's jump directly to the TWRP recovery mode to proceed with the installation part. So now our phone will be booted to the recovery mode, and afterward we'll move to the installation part. So finally we have been booted to the TWRP recovery mode. So according to blog, first we'll move to the wipe. Afterward we'll be tapping on format data. Before doing this, take a backup of your data because everything will be deleted from the internal storage. Type yes to confirm it, and it will hardly take 10 seconds or at most 15 seconds to format the data. So finally it is done. Afterward, go back, again back. Now you have to tap on advanced. So firstly select Dalvik cache data system. Vendor partition is optional. If you want to do, you can do it. So afterward, now that particular 4 different partition has been formatted successfully. Now we have to move to the home screen. So here you will find install button. Just tap it here. Afterward, you have to select storage. If you have downloaded that particular GApps and I would say that ROM file in USB OTG, then you will select second option. But if you have put in SD card like in my case, then you select this third part, and afterward just move to the same folder where you have kept that particular like ROM, Pixies OS and OpenGS. Let me tap on this and try to flash it. So finally the installation process has been started and it will now take nearly about 4 to 5 minutes. So have some patience and do not play with volume rocker buttons or power button, otherwise it will soft or hard break your phone and you have to visit customer, I would say Acer support center, or either you have to follow the QFill method and so on. So finally the ROM installation process has been completed. Now we are having two options. One is reboot system and another is wipe cache Dalvik. So we'll first go to wipe cache Dalvik. It will remove all the junk file which might have created during this particular installation process. Afterward we have to go back until unless we move to the desired folder where we have kept OpenGS, because before without using GFs you again you have to move to the TWRP recovery mode and so on. So it's good to install it side by side. So open GApps. Now it will start the installation process for the GApps and it will approximately take 5 to 6 minutes. So have some patience till then. So finally the installation of GApps is also completed. Now we are again having two options. One is reboot system and another is wipe cache Dalvik. Again I'll recommend to complete the wipe cache Dalvik so that all the junk file behind this particular installation will be completed. Now we are good to go with the reboot system. So just tap it here and afterward it will restart your phone. Now it will take approximately 2 to 3 minutes to boot into the that particular logo screen of this particular ROM and before initiating the phone setup process. So just wait, and again I will recommend do not play with the volume rocker buttons or power buttons. Again, if you will be waiting for more than 15 to 20 minutes, then I will recommend to restart your phone. So as I've told you that it will show you a logo of Pixies OS ROM and afterward it will take nearly about 2 to 3 minutes to initiate the phone setup process. So just wait till that particular time. So finally the phone setup process has been started. So it is showing me English India on the basis of my mobile career and so on whatsoever you say. So just tap on start button and afterward it will ask you for the mobile data preferences. So you can select according to your liking. So here I have to select the Wi-Fi credential and let me enter it and we'll move to the next step. So after successfully entering the Wi-Fi credential, now it is checking for update, and here in this particular section it will be going to check for the Play services or Google Play services related update, and if there will be any minor or major payload will be pending or upload will be pending, that will be directly downloaded here and install it. So let's wait till the time this completes. So we have been moved to the next screen and here it is asking copy apps and data. So just for the video's purpose I'm clicking on don't copy. If you want to get some backup from the Google Cloud, then you can press on that next button. So this is a vital part. You should be aware about the last set pin on your phone, otherwise it will ask you for the Google account. So let me enter my pin, and if it will be legit then it will move to the next screen like in my case. So to cut down the time I'm just keeping this Google setup process. You all are aware about this, and afterward it will ask few things related to Google services. Now it is asking me for the fingerprint and pin, so let me just enter pin and I'll skip the fingerprint because we have already seen the demonstration for that as well. Like it is working absolutely fine, adding the last touches. So finally the ROM has been successfully installed and this is a bare bone structure. So by default it will be shipped with this particular sets of apps and all the settings and so on. Let me confirm you once more by going into the settings section that we are using the same ROM. So again Pixies OS version 3.1.1 with this particular security patch level and build date and kernel version and so on. So this was all from my side related to the review and installation of custom ROM, that is Pixies OS ROM with version 3.1.1 on your beloved handset, that is Asus Zenfone Max Pro M1. Hope you like this video. If you really like this video, kindly share this with your friends and family, and apart from this please subscribe to our channel because this will surely motivate us and boost us to create more videos like this in the coming future. Finally, it's the time to sign off now. Bye for now.